We're here with Greg Biffle. Cleetus McFarland is talking to Dale right now as we speak. You've tagged along with him. First of all, just where did your relationship with him start?
You know, it's crazy. We talked about that this morning when I picked him up at the airport. But when Microsoft had this big outage and all the flights got canceled, I happened to be at Lime Rock Speedway racing a Trans Am car, and they were putting on an event at Stafford Speedway. And so DeBerti couldn't his flight got canceled. And so we got to talking, and they're like, can you go down there and run that race for me? And so that's when I met Cleetus, is when I went down and did the race, the Crown Vic race down at Stafford. So we met then, and then again, obviously during Hurricane Helene relief efforts, he flew up and stayed at my place, and we did some helicopter work.
Tell me about that, because I know they're going to be discussing your relief efforts with Helene. What was that experience like? And I know he's already told me you guys were like the first faces these guys saw since the hurricane happened. How has that experience changed you and affected you?
Yeah, I mean, it was amazing. What I thought was going to be helping one family one day, just because we didn't have all the information. We didn't know. But once we got in the air and saw all the devastation and then started getting communication, then we learned what the magnitude of this thing was. And so when I started posting those videos talking about it, the outpouring, Cleetus was one of the first guys. He calls me and he says, I'm in the air, I'm on my way, and it was like he was already halfway here or something to come help. So it was great. Everybody just came out of the woodwork, and we started out with 2 helicopters that turned into 8, turned into 15, turned into 30, and at the end I think we had like 75 machines flying relief efforts, because the folks just didn't have anything. They're weeks from being able to get even into them. So there was, medical cases, people needed medication and all of those things, and so we were evacuating people out, taking stuff in. And, they set up to 3 to 6 months for some of those places before they get power back.
Wow. And how can people still help today?
We're still running missions. We have about a 40,000 square foot warehouse in Statesville, and most of it are ground missions now. We have a box truck from Penske, and so our need, or the needs of what we're delivering and helping with, are more specific. And now it's starting to get to, almost construction materials like culvert pipe, steel, and gravel, and those kinds of things to fix roads, driveways, and still cutting trees and clearing is probably one of the biggest things. So we're continuing to try and help with that. And, we have our 501c3, the BIF organization, so we're helping, those folks. We put money at the sand and gravel company up there so that they could fix roads and driveways and things, stuff that people didn't plan on having, and then $4,000 or $5,000 to fix their driveway so they can get in and out of their house. Yeah, a lot of people just didn't expect that.
Yeah, wow, it's really impressive just how you guys, and I know you've heard it and he's heard it, but I know the whole community is very thankful for what you guys have done for Western North Carolina. More recent to just this weekend, you were in Daytona helping him out, giving him some advice. What was your role for him this weekend? It seemed to you like you were kind of his driver coach.
Yeah, I guess so. It's my first time in the role of driver coach, but he flew up here a few months ago before Christmas, and we made seat inserts, and we've been working at trying to get him ready for his debut at the ARCA race. And we're hoping to make it further than lap 20. Unfortunately, it wasn't his doing, which is good, but still that doesn't help, when you're trying to gain experience. So we wish we could have at least made it, half the race or more so he could gain experience. But it overall went very well. He did a good job driving the car, and I think he learned a lot. So going forward, Talladega and maybe some more races, we'll see what happens.
It's going to be exciting. I mean, for him to jump into kind of these new elements, experiences of navigating the draft, working all of it is, TJ Majors is right here. He's starting to listen in on this conversation. What's the biggest thing you wanted him to take away, to understand going into a race like this?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can't explain. I felt like we overloaded him with information. You know, don't do this, do that, watch out for this. And you can only take in so much at one time. So it was, you know, we tried to, you know, give him the best tools that he could and then get out on the racetrack and just gain experience. And my hope was, again, make it halfway or further so that he gets that 40 laps. And actually reining out qualifying is kind of a blessing because he started back in 25th. So it was good to be back there at some point to see what the car drove like. If he qualified 6th and he was up front all day long, that's good too, but I felt like he needed that experience back in the field and trying to work his way up versus run up there all day and then get shuffled out of line. And then you have no idea what the draft is like at the back, you know? So anyway, we accomplished some of our goals, but I think going forward, we're looking forward to Talladega.
And you were telling me right before we hit record, and he's in there right now talking to Dale. You've got a little surprise for him when he gets out?
Well, we are. It just depends on how long he's in there and what the schedule is. But I was trying to pick him up today in the school bus. So I've got
school bus.
The school bus. So I got the school bus, but the tire was flat this morning. And so I tried, I had to change the batteries because I haven't driven it in a year, like a lot of our collector cars, right? And but anyway, I was trying to get the tire aired up and finally had to go to the airport and get him, so I had to give up on it. But I thought maybe while he's in doing the interview, I think they got the tire aired up. I was going to go get it and pick him up in it, but we'll see. We'll have some fun with it.
Is that what this is all about, just keeping each other on your toes?
Yeah, keeping him on the toes. I really wanted to pull up to that this morning to that airplane with the school bus and pick him up, but it'll have to be another day.
We'll have to see. Maybe one day we'll see Greg Biffle pick up Cleetus McFarland in a school bus.